Good afternoon, esteemed classmates and fellow data science enthusiasts. Today, I stand before you to delve into a topic that lies at the intersection of technology and ethics, one that has ignited passionate discussion within our field, the unmasking of gender bias in LinkedIn search algorithm. My name is Hannah Perry, and in the next 10 minutes, I aim to navigate through the complexities of the incident, unraveling its layers and implications for our understanding of AI ethics. Today, I hope to discuss what happened, how it happened, why it happened, what we can do, and what we should learn from the situation. So let's start with some context. LinkedIn is a prominent professional networking platform, but it was faced with a lot of controversy when it was reported that there was a gender bias found in its search algorithm. As reported by Ashley Rodriguez in LinkedIn's search algorithm apparently favored men until last week in Quartz magazine in 2016. The bias favored men, raising concerns about gender equality for the future of professional networking. There was an issue, though, and how did this issue arise? Well, it started with the algorithm itself. It was designed to connect professionals, but it inadvertently obscured women's visibility by favoring men counterparts. This was due to a toggle bar implemented in the algorithm itself, showcasing male versus female and what the employer was looking for. The detection of this bias was delayed, though, impacting LinkedIn's performance and integrity and casting doubts on gender equality itself. This was reported by Ryan O'Hare in Is LinkedIn Sexist? Investigation claims searches for female professionals may end up suggesting men instead on the Daily Mail in 2016. So let's analyze this a little bit further. Was this an issue that could have been mitigated before it even occurred, or were there ways in which LinkedIn could have prevented this from happening altogether? I believe that through thorough testing and validation, along with a complement to diversity and inclusivity, it could have mitigated this altogether before it even occurred. However, upon further investigation, LinkedIn found that it neglected data ethic principles and sacrificed transparency and fairness for the progress of their overall business model. This was reported by Samantha Cooney in LinkedIn Tweets search algorithm after reports suggest gender bias in Time magazine of 2016. There are some solutions and ethical considerations that they should take into account, and we should as well as future data scientists. However, LinkedIn did initiate the steps to address bias by removing gendered search suggestions, but there are some additional things I think they should implement to their algorithm and any future algorithms on their platform to ensure this never happened again and just to better the algorithm itself. This would include diverse data collection, regular audits, transparency, continuous audits, continuous monitoring, any ethical review board, and AI ethics education. These were all some suggestions from Maggie Millen on Bye Bye Gender Bias. LinkedIn will no longer ask users if they're meant to search for a man, found in Glamour magazine in 2016. So let's start with diverse representation in data collection. This would mean that they would ensure dataset diversity in order to mitigate any biases in the future. This could be anywhere from ensuring there are a wide range of datasets collected for underrepresented groups. This could be anywhere from gender, ethical backgrounds, or diversity in their race and ethnicity. Matt Day actually recommended this on his article titled Tech Companies Work Towards Website Searches Free of Bias on Star Tribune in 2016. Another idea that I found was a regular bias audit. This would implement audits from a third party that would help mitigate any biases before they even came to fruition in the algorithm, although they also could be implemented as the algorithm progresses. So it could be something where a third party is hired on to have impartiality and thoroughness looked at the algorithm itself before posting, and then after it is posted, in 6 months time, 3 months time, a year even, you have your third party come back and make sure and ensure that there are no further biases found in the algorithm itself. This was recommended by Dr. Tim Sandel on Does LinkedIn Have a Gender Bias in the Digital Journal in 2016. Another idea that was found was the transparency and accountability. I feel like in order for LinkedIn to move forward, they have got to have transparency within their business model. They need to be very transparent in their algorithmic processing. So how did they collect the data set? What do they deem important in their creation? I know to the regular everyday consumer, it may seem a little convoluted, but I do feel like they should be more aware of who is looking and what they are looking for in order to establish, clear accountability for algorithmic decisions, and to back up their claims of why they chose this. And it also just provides for a second point of view, moving forward within the consumer bias. This was reported by Samantha Cooney in LinkedIn Tweaks Search Algorithm after report suggests gender bias in Time magazine in 2016. Another idea would be continuous monitoring and feedback mechanisms. This would be something that would allow for the consumers, both the employers and the employees looking, could have a real-time bias identification and addressing the situation itself. Because as I mentioned, it took quite a while for LinkedIn to actually report that they did have an issue in their algorithm and then make tweaks to the algorithm itself. So this would allow for more timely adjustments and improvements over time. This was an idea brought to light from LinkedIn search engine may reflect a gender bias found in Stuff magazine in 2016. Another idea was the ethics review board. This would be a diverse, establish of a diverse background of different professionals, anywhere from data scientists, ethic professionals, sociologists, and they would help guide the ethical considerations of any future algorithms or the set algorithm in place. They would evaluate potential biases and ethical implications. They could bring to light and monitoring this, current algorithms that are set in place while also ensuring any processing algorithms before they are posted. So this would be another option, as well as the third-party audits that would come in. You could have your ethics review board do more of a month-to-month check-in, whereas the third parties could do the bigger, more broad cleansing to ensure it is still regulated. So you can combat both of them together, or you could have one or the other. Regardless, they would, heavily improve upon the algorithm by having something in place that is specifically for the ethics themselves. This was recommended by Chris Biernick, and LinkedIn denies gender bias claims over site search on BBC News. And lastly, I feel that they should invest in AI ethics education. With the growing popularity of AI in use of business models, I feel like LinkedIn, as it is a platform for businesses to come and post about their business itself, they would be setting a precedent of what is important and how AI ethics and education does need to be a standard across businesses. It's, invest in AI ethics and education for development of their teams, And by doing this, it would raise awareness of ethical considerations and best practices moving forward, and having more of a standard role for their developmental teams. This was recommended on LinkedIn will no longer ask if you meant to search for a man instead, found on The Cut in 2016. So in conclusion, we talked about the importance of ethical considerations, especially in regards to the gender bias found in LinkedIn search algorithm. We looked at some insight from the analysis and some of the reports found during that time of 2016 when it was discovered. We also talked about the prioritizing of fairness in the algorithm and any future algorithms made, not just with LinkedIn, but any business model. The building of trust, so how do they come back from this? How can they improve upon their business moving forward and ensure that consumers will come back to them even after this debacle? And also moving forward in general, what can businesses do? What can LinkedIn do? What can we do to ensure that situations like this don't happen in the future? So thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to hearing your discussions regarding this topic and some feedback. And here are my references. So thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you have a great day.